Okay, this one is called Open Heart Surgery. Another one from my single days. Heartbreak, it's just this mine of creativity, isn't it? You know, whereas there's something Roddy Lumsden said once when he read, actually there's a poem I'll read in my next bit, but Roddy Lumsden, when he introduced it, he said a line which was, there's a bad Scottish accent, ahoy here, but there's a point in every male poet's life where he stops writing about love and starts writing about food. So I guess it's from my love period. So it's called Open Heart Surgery. I cut a small sliver of my heart for you. I remember cutting my heart out and holding it hot and still beating in my hand. Now, I didn't want to cut off too much, just enough so the damaged tissue could regenerate, but I didn't want to be stingy either. So I tried to get it right on the button, at the very border between life and death. So, using a potato peeler, I cut some slivers away and put the rest, injured but not terminal, back into my chest. You asked me what you should do with these slices of heart. You didn't really want them. They reminded you a bit of a doner kebab. I asked you to appreciate the gesture, the very lengths I had gone to to show you my feelings. You said a card would have been just fine. And I remember how startled you were when I phoned up a week later and asked when you were going to give me a slice of your heart. You said you weren't really that ready to get serious with someone and maybe we should stop seeing each other. And my heart pulsed coldly like a war wound last time I paid a visit to a kebab shop. As the hairy-armed owner carved away the hot, fatty strips of lamb, I caught sight of you through the steamed-up window. I wiped it clear, and there he was, holding your hand, your new beloved. You looked so content, your smile so wide and breathless. The first few buttons of your blouse were shamelessly undone, revealing the new stitches just above your left breast for all that would dare to look.
De nuevo estoy sola en el jardín y quiero silencio, pero puedo escuchar la araña tejiendo, las nubes retirándose y la silla vacía respirando. No quiero escuchar ni los susurros ni los murmullos de aquellas sombras moviéndose. Solo quiero silencio. I'm alone in the garden again, and I want silence. But I can hear the spider weaving, the clouds retreating, and the empty chair breathing. I don't want to hear the whispers nor murmurs of those moving shadows. I just want silence. Moving on to my rude poem. I wrote a poem about touching myself. Yeah, that's it. It's called Self-Exploration. That finger slowly glides over the shiny warmth of her wetness, gradually paces towards those lips so plump and full of anticipation. And once inches away, the mind is feverishly ablaze as the scent of the sweetness on that digit gestures and brushes the senses alive. Now steering itself forward, it skims the moist outline of the half-open mouth, submitting to the intensity. Flushed cheeks tingle, and traces of honey murmur and collide, bonding with the stroke.
So, you know, it's the bit where I start on every man but listen to that poem. Anyway, no. You know, and it just wouldn't be the same if I did a poem about wanking right now. It wouldn't quite have that same erotic allure, would it, to tell the truth? Anyway, I don't think, you know, men are always doing one thing or the other, I guess, so I run one thing about the other. Anyway, yeah, I'm going to do a few more then, and this one is, I think this one actually ties in a little bit with that last one. It's not about me having a tosh, but this is about the first time we went on holiday, and I think there's a real make or break thing when you go, first time you go on holiday with a partner or something like that. There's a moment of tension, and I think there's still even a moment about holiday when you prepared everything. So for us it was kind of like buying the rough guide and finding out all those places in the rough guide that no one else goes to, because no one else reads the rough guide to that place, and learning a little bit of a language, and cerveza por favor, and so on, and then like flying over the Pyrenees and going, oh, darling, the Pyrenees, getting there, and then basically realising, well, you're having a shit time. And it's about that kind of moment, but once you kind of acknowledge it, you can have fun. Anyway, this poem is called Barcelona. Last week in England, I asked you if the soul of an elephant is bigger than the soul of a cabbage white butterfly. You said all souls are immeasurable. And yesterday, we navigated the narrow crags between chiseled brown bodies laid out across the beach like some kind of cross between Baywatch and Dunkirk. We walked, fueled by the stubbornness and refusing to admit the abject disappointment of being on holiday. I envied the madwoman laid out on the Barcelona pavement, smiling at the shapes the palm trees made, a cigarette long dead within her fingers. It was a plate of mussels that saved us. The largest we had ever seen. The fresh-killed creatures within the quartz black shells were floppy, lippy, and more than a little bit cunty. Drowned in the hot, fatty juice of a fatal orgasm. We swallowed them whole and tasted a forgotten salt immensity. Our stomachs pulsed as their souls billowed out, immeasurable within our own. Thank you. And one more sonnet stands between you guys and your next beer or we. So it's just, you know, 14 lines, 5 stresses, just about 1 minute. It's called Saturday Morning. The pristine silence of the pharmacy. Hemorrhoid cream sits snug in pristine tubes alongside tastefully designed tubs of lube. And though it's not exactly privacy, the counter offers up its clemency. This counter doubles as confession booth for wronged lovers seeking to soothe the itching price of their intimacy. But the bed upstairs is creaking noisily, and groans of pleasure permeate the shelves. The frisky pair stoke up a merry row. And though we're part of a community and shouldn't be so wrapped up in ourselves, they can all fuck off. We're married now. Thank you very much.